So the first running back of the draft goes Najee Harris with the 24th overall pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But then right after, Najee Harris went. And for a lot of people, their RB2 in this class, Travis Etienne gets the first round draft capital. That was, to me, the number one thing we needed to see for Etienne to really love him in fantasy. Goes to the 25th overall pick. I know a lot of people are down on the landing spot at Jacksonville. I didn't like the pick for the Jags at all. I think they had a lot of other areas of need on that team, and they had a running back, as we all know, undrafted free agent, James Robinson. Came out of
Pour one out for James Robinson, man. You hate to see it.
They did this man dirty. But Alex, what are your thoughts on Etienne in this Jacksonville Jaguars landing spot?
Yeah, I think the Etienne pick was a little surprising. We all thought maybe Jacksonville could take him and pair him up with Trevor Lawrence, college teammates. But I was surprised. Our Discord was surprised. Check out that Discord if you haven't already. Link is in the description. Just a bunch of guys in there talking dynasty, talking fantasy football, talking NFL, talking everything. So hop in there if you want to talk with us, get trades rated, whatever it is. But back to Travis Etienne. I was surprised. And it's not, the number one landing spot, obviously. They have James Robinson, who was phenomenal last season. It's a landing spot where Etienne is not going to be a workhorse running back. But the free fall that I'm seeing from other people for Travis Etienne has gotten out of hand. People are trying to say Michael Carter is going to be more productive than Etienne because he landed on the New York Jets. They're trying to say Javonte Williams, maybe there's more of a debate there, but he's got Melvin Gordon, a veteran who had draft capital, who has a contract in Denver. So for Travis Etienne, I actually like it more than the consensus because he's playing with his college quarterback that gave him a 12% target share at Clemson last season, 5 targets a game. No, James Robinson isn't going to go away, but I think it's a 1A, 1B situation. And I think James Robinson's still going to get his carries. I actually think he's going to out-carry Travis Etienne in 2021, but it could be a really, really good thunder and lightning type of combination in Jacksonville. I think Etienne's going to continue to get a higher and higher and higher percentage of the touches out of this backfield as he works through his rookie contract. But I don't mind it one bit. I think Travis Etienne's going to be fantastic in Jacksonville. And if you look at that backfield, James Robinson, Etienne at wide receiver, you've got DJ Chark, you've got Laviska Shenault, you've got Marvin Jones, you now have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. The Jacksonville Jaguars are building something pretty nice, at least on the offensive side of the ball. So, Steph, what are your initial kind of reactions?
The last piece of Exodia that Travis Etienne needed was that first round draft capital. Like, I really didn't care what the landing spot was. As a huge Etienne fan, I knew as long as he went in the first 32 picks of the draft over this last weekend, it was going to be a guy that I was going to be high on, that I think everybody else should be high on. For those that need a refresher, Travis Etienne has been a monster producer since he was a freshman at Clemson in the ACC, had 766 rushing yards at age 19, and had over 1,600 rushing yards his sophomore, junior season.
Sheesh.
Didn't come out last year, and this is the one quote-unquote red flag. I don't even want to call it a red flag. That seems aggressive, but the fact that he didn't come out last year, but we saw how good that class was, and I think it actually was a smart move for Etienne to wait a year. I really do, because I don't think he would have gone in the first round last year when you had J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, Cam Akers, even Antonio. Like, there were a lot of good guys in that class last year. I think actually Etienne made the right move. And analysts that are pushing Etienne down their rookie rankings just screams that, like, hey, you want to continue to let James Robinson be a thing. I'm sad about J-Rob. I didn't have any shares, thank God. But I think for a lot of us, like, if you have James Robinson, you want to look on the bright side. You want to think glass half full with him. We shouldn't be looking that way. And that was part of the risk every step of the way. We talked about it a ton on our Discord with HT Bear. Shout out to Hunter, balling out in the Discord with us and talking through some of these values. But listen to this, Alex. Over the last 8 years, this will show how important that first-round draft capital is. And the whole point I'm trying to make here is that over the last 8 years, there's been 10 running backs drafted in the first round. On average, 210 carries, 37 receptions. So that's almost 250 touches. On average, they finish as a RB21 or higher in PPR leagues, and they finish as an RB2 or higher 70% of the time. So just going off that first-round draft capital that we weight so heavily for running backs, this is the reason why. When they invest in you in the first round, it means they're going to give you opportunity, and especially if you're a player like Etienne. I mean, we think back to the way that Urban Meyer – now, I don't want to extrapolate too much from what Urban Meyer's done historically, because who knows how things have changed since the last time he was a coach, going from college to the pros, etc. But he was known for getting the ball in the hands of explosive playmakers. That's exactly what Travis Etienne is, and that's exactly the reason why they went out and drafted him. So I got to think, if they brought this guy in, they're going to put the ball in his hands. I'm expecting, from like a volume perspective, even in a worst-case scenario, 50-50 split with James Robinson. Mm-hmm. And I do think James Robinson could be, especially earlier on in the year, just like we saw with Jonathan Taylor, just like we saw with J.K. Dobbins with the Mark Ingram situation, Cam Akers with the Darrell Henderson situation. All these guys had incumbent backs that they had to earn opportunities over. And so I do think James Robinson will start the year out as the early down plotter. Travis Etienne there on pass-catching downs. And once they see how explosive this guy is, he's taken 50-yard plays to the house. They're not going to have any other choice than to put the ball in Etienne's hands. You ready to hear some of these home run stats, Alex?
I love it. I want to hear them right now. Give me a grand slam.
Etienne scored a touchdown in 46 out of 55 career games in college. 24 of those 46 of them started outside of the red zone, and 17 of them came from 40-plus yards out.
Jeez.
So we're talking of the total touchdowns that he scored, that 46, over 35% of those came from midfield. So that's ridiculous.
That is.
So that's why you got to love Etienne.
Yeah.
And he showed that he can do it in the passing game his senior year. I'm expecting around 200 carries. I'm expecting a lot of receptions. And I'm expecting high-level efficiency. I'm expecting touchdowns, all from Travis Etienne in year one. And then after year one, it's wheels up. Unless they go out and draft another early round running back, which I strongly doubt they're going to do, we can feel very confident about Etienne going forward. I'm smashing on him everywhere in dynasty leagues.
100%. And honestly, Steph, I know people are going to be concerned about the upside because, one, the current situation, and two, just the way he plays. But honestly, I think the upside is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara has never exceeded 200 carries in a season, but because he's good as a runner, even though he doesn't get the volume, and he's exceptional as a pass catcher, he's carved out tremendous value in a great offense. And now you get Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Who knows how good this offense could be in 2-3 years? So you look at Travis Etienne, he's 5'10", 215. You look at Alvin Kamara, he's 5'10", 214. If Etienne can get even 150 carries, which should be the bare minimum, especially in a 17-game season, and he can get 4 to 5 targets a game, that's wheels up for me because that's 200-plus touches, plus the premium on those receptions that he's going to get in this offense. So I think about Travis Etienne in his rookie season as a Chase Edmonds or a Nyheim Hines type workload, plus you're probably going to get an extra 3, 4, 5 carries a game because Travis Etienne, from a size perspective, fits that bill as more of a true runner. So I think you're getting a Nyheim Hines plus or a Chase Edmonds plus as a rookie for Travis Etienne, and the upside goes all the way up to an Alvin Kamara type guy in the next 2, 3, 4 years. Who knows?
You throw a Kamara as a high-end comp. I'll throw one more out there, which is Aaron Jones. Now, Aaron Jones gets monstrous touchdown volume. This guy's had double-digit touchdowns the last 2 years, and the year before that he had 9. So I don't know how many I expect Etienne to get, especially in year one, especially with James Robinson in town. But Aaron Jones in 2020 had 201 carries at 5.49 yards per carry, so that's over 1,000 yards on the ground, and then saw 63 targets. So I think that 40 to 60 range is right there where Etienne should be from a receiving profile standpoint. And then rushing, you're just hoping for the efficiency. We're not expecting him to be a 300-carry Derrick Henry, but we don't need him to be that for fantasy. We just need him to be efficient. So I look at Aaron Jones' volume, Aaron Jones splitting carries, Aaron Jones not being this typical 3-down workhorse that we think about, and that's exactly where I fit Travis Etienne in. Before he came into the league, I had him as comps with DeAndre Swift, comps with Miles Sanders. I still think he has those comps fitting straight to his skill set and actually his situation right now.
You might laugh at Nyheim Hines or Chase Edmonds like, oh, no one wants that kind of guy in their fantasy football team, whatever. But Nyheim Hines in PPR last season, RB15. Chase Edmonds.
They have weeks.
Chase Edmonds was the RB25. So these are guys that are getting it done. It fits right in with the stats you gave me, Steph, about these first-round running backs being an RB21 or better. I think that is going to happen for Travis Etienne as a rookie and beyond. I mean, the upside just continues to climb. So he's my number 4 overall player in Superflex drafts right now in Dynasty Leagues. He's my number 2 running back behind Najee Harris. And with the talent he has, with the draft capital that he got, and with the offense he's in and the opportunities I expect him to get, I think he's an absolute smash pick, and he's going to be fantastic for Jacksonville.